Welcome. I'm so glad that you can join me here today. 146, lesson 128 from the excerpt, pages 408 and 409 and 410. We will be exploring, like a song, the verses and chorus to this day's lyrics that may find you well, proportionately in a space that you can find solace, even with everything that might be going all around you. Take a few deep breaths in and just get comfortable. When the strength can be shared, it brings to all the miracles in this union, a magical place. The purpose to find forgiveness and dwell in love. When we speak about miracles, is the first step into this perspective of a reality to accept a world of magical unfoldments. In such a way, this novel teaches us the Sovereign Light, a course in metaphysical spirituality, how to become, in truth, alchemists. And alchemy is the shifting of perspectives, the shifting of the elementals in your world. What molecules and atoms can be made of. And the chorus to the song, and the truth to give itself away, and in the same way that it is given to itself, because it can be of its body, and that is of an undepleted light, made from everything that is life. So there comes a time where we kind of feel like unappreciated, dulled out, heavy-hearted, grieving, all the loss, all the pressures, lack of breathing perhaps even. And we get pulled down into the fear mode, panic state that depresses our breathing, and we recognize it. And so these are the indices of comfort and levels of how deeply we can go into this breathing and become at ease within this state of being. And let's begin on today's activation with these words. You can opt to have your eyes closed or open. And this welcoming of today into this sharing of your presence is greatly welcomed here to participate. And the more you can obtain from today throughout your day, that it may unfold in this kind of filter that you can use to work through your own observations of your own reality that unfolds right before you. And as we clear these things, we can reach a level where perhaps there's nothing left to clear or stick or anything that we can get triggered by. That level of reality is where we start creating and becoming creators. So let us commence on these few words that you can listen in and all distractions hopefully will be enough to get you into this type of Tibetan mode of meditation where you find the silence from within, as everything around you can hear banging around bombastically, and yet you find your center and that inner peace to participate with us here and now. Sounds good. When I find that place of weakness, I must reclaim it as my strength and direct it. In a flow of exhilaration toward my feeling of well-being. And throughout the day, say these words within your mind. Think of these words to filter through, and really know throughout your day this to be for your experience to filter through. When I find that place of weakness, I must reclaim it as my strength. And direct it in a flow of exhilaration toward my feeling of well-being. When I find that place of weakness, I must reclaim it as my strength and direct it in a flow of exhilaration toward my feeling of well-being. When I find that place of weakness, I must reclaim it as my strength and direct it in a flow of exhilaration toward my feeling of well-being. It can feel physically exhausting at times when we let go of all resistances, and at first the shifting into weakness from the awakeness in the state of being, and to claim this connection of self-empowerment. Is there anything else other that we can do much more of? Anything other than this will be a self-defeating purpose and a dysfunction. As we learn to go and function, we learn through our many dysfunctional, and dysfunction is a teacher that will teach us more on how to function. A knot of emotions as they untie and untwist metaphysically and physically for this experience. Remove the significance of all the programs running that we're in and of what it means to be experienced. Because to prove for any of these functions are the actual dysfunctions, and for its self-worth are only useful to the ego-driven world, and how it can collectively and collectively accumulate its income. The self will never be enough and to accomplish for anything in this reality, but rather to escape it and in the way of death. Recycling and procreating in this way no longer have to be the importance of its evolution and to revolve around this karmic wheel. That's all I thought during my, the 80s and my teens, and, that's all I was really good for. That's all that was required of me in this functional, so they call it, world, is to be a breeder. And through my breeding, I can become a value and an asset to society like all the others who obtained their status from this level of breeding as breeders. And so we can learn to overcome these things as creator beings. And as I have gone through my life of insignificance for not having to procreate and be a breeder, these are the many running programs that I must dismiss in others who can also learn to meet me somewhere right here and now as creator God beings. We all go through our own personal path that meets up. And as we are here and now, the self will never be enough to compare to others' life experiences in this way, and reclaim as its own in resonance to support and endorse and have this flow of income. To master the physical world and become completely abundant in every way. We see it. It's here. It's so abundant, it's overwhelming. This is why, more than ever before, focusing on one thing at a time is so important. And then the signals come in saying, okay, now it's time to do this. Okay, now it's time to do that. A little more on this, please. And so forth. And how many enterprises can we go running at the same time? The help might come later. So to master the physical world and become completely abundant in every way can only be made truly possible and as practice from another level of awareness. Because in true sense, there is no help from the outside world. And so control has no place where the self is going. And when it decides to become conscious of its programming is where it can begin to start connecting with itself that appear to be in the many. Engaging and disengaging and engaging and disengaging and so on and so forth. Learn how to master the physical world and with every exchange completely become the effect. When I find that place of weakness, I must reclaim it as my strength and direct it in a flow of exhilaration toward my feeling of well-being. Today is all about this practice. Of going out into the physical world to get a feel of where the self it might fall short and or change its world that it walks into completely with its very own vibration and through this light. Where it feels like it might fall short or try to make itself small enough to fit into the picture. As I have done in a few previous videos as well. Because the background is much more important and what others make of you and all these things. Otherwise, it's always that. What do others care about? Completely nothing. And this is what you have to kind of acknowledge. It's okay if I'm talking to a world full of zombies, unawakened. One day they will. And perhaps stumble across this and say, hey man, I like it. And where it feels like it might fall short is where it must appreciate and repeat the following affirmation. This supports the chorus. When I find that place of weakness, I must reclaim it as my strength and direct it in a flow of exhilaration toward my feeling of well-being. This is the chorus, and it supports the lyrics for today from each and every verse. This is exceptionally welcomed, and when the self is ready to accept that it no longer can react and feels nothing in the form of charge from anywhere. Like I mentioned before, there's a lot of exploitation going on. So if we start sinking into those levels of, oh, this person is taking that or that person is taking that, and not even showing any kind of credible response to even a like or anything that, hey, I got inspired from so-and-so, oh, I'm taking this person's material, or I'm doing that. And it slows humanity down on a global level, having to legalize this and legalize that and legalize this saying and legalize everything. I already put out a memo on this. It retards us from personal, creative expressions that others and the world as one can benefit. And we all contribute in this way. Some of us go unacknowledged while others take all the credibility. And others have endorsements and opportunities, and others do not see theirs. So we're all in this together. We're all in this together, no matter how unfair, unjust, unhumane, dysfunctional, exploiting of money because of the way we do business with each other and one another, and that level of attachment to engage or resonate in order to co-create with, and so on and so forth. Very intricate web we weave, and the matrix of it all that is running us on all these programs that we must just let go and release, because it hurts not only the emotional body but the physical one too. The emotional runs from the mental and the physical. They're entwined, similar to the spirit and the soul. And so all these many bodies that come down, well, first we have to clear the emotional. The emotional is of great significance because it ties us to the mental and the physical body, well-being. And so this is exceptionally welcomed. And when the self is ready to accept, yet this is a place called weakness and is still creating the gap of emptiness inside. Christed consciousness is in the teaching to close this gap, and through the many stories of this energy called love. It's not, oh, you were born into this family, or you were born from lineage and indoctrination that makes you better than another person. Again, this is another hang-up that we have, promoting and supporting these programs that we all must function or be dysfunctional to, and how well we fit in with them and others to play and engage with, so that we can earn some kind of, well, why is it that we have to disconnect our emotional body from our physical body? I find that in my life, it happens with, on a sexual level, denying that, or denying the food, and it's running on the same program, that same connection. If I starve myself or go without, am I neglecting my physical body? Am I neglecting my emotional connection to my physical body? Yes, we gotta let these boys play. You see, they also need. See, this is what happens. They're reacting with their, big boy. What do you call it? Toys. I forget what they're called. Toys. One has to make louder noise than the other to prove their power, or whatever this is called, disconnect, and they do it with money. Oh, I've got money, so I'm going to do, and so others are covered over by this and not really seen, because, they just, right into your space. There's a lot of things going on, and we can allow it. We can engage with others to allow it, or we don't have to. We can make it as invisible as they make us. We don't make it, we just live our life in the happiest way we can possibly be, and accept ourselves where others don't. Like, you have to do it this way, it has to be done this way, or it's not allowed. We're not going to allow you to show yourself if you don't do it in this kind of way. You got to go through this system, or you got to go through that system. You got to get these level of credentials, or you got to go through this schooling or that schooling, or say it like this teacher or say it like that teacher, or you just don't belong anywhere. Really. How is it that I'm breathing? How is it that I'm here? Maybe not in your world, but I am in mine. And I'm doing so well without anyone else telling me how to run it. And do you really need my help? These are the many programs. And so this is exceptionally welcome here today. Feel the love, and where it was never offered in return because of the grief, and where it is no longer there to take up residence. You know, even the ones who don't acknowledge how much they exploit in a way of acknowledgement. So either way it works. It's how we perceive it, through what filters we might be seeing it. And appreciate the progress that it makes, and that in gratitude for those, the many, the space has been given to accept for more than what the self could possibly imagine to anticipate from raising and keeping its vibration in this way. Imagine it as a very deep sacred place inside, and learn it as the universe that it's becoming into. This is the inner voice. Connect with it and learn from it by stilling the mind. What leverage can you hold to play in? What world can you engage with and let the other fall by the wayside? And their so-called money and wealth and whatever they do with it, while others, support and promote them in this way. And, it's a matter of, okay, you send me over the money, and you can participate and play with us, and we will promote you through advertisement and support you and endorse you that you're one of us in our club, in our group exclusively, because you're paying into it, and you've been paying into it. And this way you can have as many customers as you'd like. It is a lot of work, isn't it? No, just be you. Just be happy being you and forget all the other stresses. Let them be. See how well they do on their own. Will they even ever exist? I'm existing. So from this field, the self is transmitting to go out into its world and make a difference in whatever way it can today. Even if it means buying a coffee from McDonald's and supporting another's employment. Buying a service, buying a product, engaging with others, saying, yes, here's some money for your membership, and not even bother with it. Here, just take the money. Here, take the money, have the money, and do whatever you want with it. I don't need to participate in your group or engage with it. Just take my money. Here. And you see how fun this could be? There's many groups out there. Just give them the money and show them you care, but you don't have to be a part of it in any other way. And so it is so easy to become annoyed, and by the intensity that can throw off the self from its alignment. Accept this disconnect created from a place of aggravation to aggressively distract and help it to find the refuge in this space. Allow what it is seeking for to very briefly experience and take from the exchange, not so very long enough to linger an attachment from it. So what is it? Why is it in my space? Why is it showing me this? Maybe I need to do some kind of platform, and oh, this is probably going to help. Oh, I love this structure. It will work within my enterprise. Oh, I can take from here and take from there. Why not? We're all taking from each other. So, briefly practice to inspire the change in frequency, and from whatever contact, make for the exchange this connection to uplift the many others. By taking from them, you're helping them regardless, because you're giving anyway. So we're all in a give and take here, folks, of the world, and that ripple out vibration from a lower field. So it's just a lower playing field, higher playing field, and so on. And the purpose is to become more aware of the cosmic portal from within and hold it out into the field externally. By accepting to be healed, become the love and bring it to the world. We're all going to experience exhaustion once in a while and might feel like giving up. That just means, okay, it's time to go on to something else, and then work on that later. And you know, everything is happening for our benefit, always. Even the discouragements, it's for our benefit. And so I will leave you with these words. And you can slowly blink your eyes open, or breathe your eyes open, or just hear the sounds of anger and strife and all these things that go on like little kids with each other, that we, you know, in reactionary mode, oh, I'm better than you, and all this aggravation, annoyance, aggression, fear, and what have you. It's all Shakespeare's theater. And so when I find that place of weakness, call it out, like I have today given some examples, and reclaim it as your strength, and direct it in a flow of exhilaration toward your feeling of well-being. Thank you so very much. And I hope to see you again next time. Over, under, a bridge, anything. You know, it's a highway, right? There's a lot of cars going on here. Much love.